Welcome to another Encounters episode. Today we look at a late-night visit from Sasquatch that took place in Missouri. Late-night visit from Sasquatch. It was around midnight on January 15, 2018, when our witness and his wife were awakened by a loud thump from outside their bedroom window. Outside their window was a large plastic storage box to hold their charcoal for barbecue, along with their barbecue grill covered with its winter tarp. The thump appeared to be the sound of something hitting the side of the storage box. The two were very familiar with the sound, having bumped into that box many times during the summer while cooking out. However, the sound was certainly out of place for the middle of winter and the middle of the night. After they both realized that they had both heard the sound, they lay listening. The husband felt the bed slightly tremble like it would when large trucks would drive by the house. "I hear footsteps," he said. Both were not whispering, but speaking in a normal tone. The two lay awake, listening for a little while. When there were no more sounds or vibrations, they finally went back to sleep. The next morning, with it still being very cold, temperatures below freezing with the wind chill, the two remained mostly indoors. In the middle of the afternoon, the wife called for her husband to come look outside at the side yard. He looked out the bedroom window to see a line of large, widely spaced footprints next to the house, which backed up their belief that there had been an intruder during the night. They went outside to investigate further. That was when they discovered that there was actually two lines of tracks coming toward their house from the west. The line of tracks curved in an S-shape alongside the house just outside the bedroom window. One set of tracks were 13 to 14 inches long, 5 inches wide at the heel, and 7 inches wide at the toe. Some of the tracks showed definite toe marks. All the prints were smooth, with nothing similar to a boot or shoe print. The second line of tracks appeared to be smaller footsteps and was theorized as being juveniles. Those prints also showed clear toe prints inside some of the footprints. It is supposed that this is what happened the night before. Both lines of tracks approached the house. As the house was neared, the smaller tracks began to show dragging toes side by side as if the larger one partially lifted the smaller one up, leaving both feet dragging, making marks in the snow, side by side, before resuming walking. Then at other points, the smaller prints appeared to show that it had hopped repeatedly 2 or 3 times on one foot, then jumped or been lifted, again dragging both feet for a distance of some 8 feet, and then planting one foot and resuming stride, or hopping onto the other foot. The witnesses thought that it was one of those hops or jumps that may have caused the young one to bump into the storage box. It was at the storage box that the line of prints became a single track, with the smaller one being lifted and carried. The stride length of the larger prints up to that point had averaged 5.5 feet. When the smaller one was lifted and carried, the stride length grew to 6 feet in length and at some points neared 7 feet. There was no indication of running, no toe or heel scuffs like what would be made by a human attempting to run in 6 inches of snow. There were brush marks at the back of some of the tracks that could have been made by hair hanging from the legs. The tracks of the larger one went from the house to the road, although snow plows erased those prints. They continued at an angle across the yard on the other side of the road. At approximately 100 feet in, the stride slightly reduced and the smaller prints were again visible. The two lines of tracks then continued in a straight line another 300 feet toward a dense tree line. When the researcher finally arrived to photograph the prints, many of them were slightly degraded by the wind-blown snow dropping from the trees overhead. By Wednesday, the temperatures had risen and most of the tracks were erased. The tracks in the neighbor's yard had gotten trod over by the stray dogs in the neighborhood, who seemed to find the tracks very interesting. By Friday, the snow had melted and there were no traces of the tracks left. The area is forested residential land. The witness's plot is a 10-acre lot with 9 of them natural Ozark forest. The remaining acre, although having buildings and the house, is still heavily wooded. Thanks to the BRFO for the report, 58,937. More photos of the prints and the area can be found on bfro.net. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell. Find more reports and our sightings map at thecryptocrew.com. If you have had a sighting or encounter, then please contact us via our website. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.